As per the data of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, 47,335 cases of sexual abuse against children were reported in the year 2019. Now, what are the laws to protect these vulnerable children who are sexually abused or sexually attacked by the persons who are close one to them or someone who know them in the society? Now, how do we protect these vulnerable children? What are the laws and mechanisms in our country to protect these children? Well, the Act is Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. So what was the law prior to 2012 to protect these children? Well, the law was under the Indian Penal Code. Now, if a girl child was attacked, the offences charged were for rape, outraging the modesty of a woman, or unnatural offences under Section 377. Now, what if a boy child was sexually abused? What was his remedy? Sadly, the answer is there was no remedy at all. There was no law which was gender neutral to protect these boy children. And that was the prime objective of the Parliament, to bring them under the protection or the umbrella of this law and to give them in protection under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. In this video, I'll take you through the POCSO Act so that we can make everyone aware of the laws which protects these children, and we can make a better society to protect these helpless and these vulnerable children so that we can have a safe country and a safe environment for the children.
According to the National Crime Record Bureau, 109 children in India face some form of child sexual abuse every day. These children who turns out be the victims also includes boys and girls below the age of 18. 90% of the child abuses are committed by a person who is very well known to the child. In order to prevent this, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, 2012, POCSO, was introduced. The POCSO Act was implemented to protect the children against offences such as sexual assault, sexual harassment, and pornography. The Act also increases the scope of reporting sexual crimes against children. Section 2(d) of the Act defines a child as any person below 18 years of age. Now, what does the different chapters of the Act say? Chapter 2 of the Act expands and defines the offences in detail and provides for their punishments. Sections 3 to 12 provides for these offences, namely sexual assault, penetrative sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, aggravated penetrative sexual assault, sexual harassment and non-penetrative sexual assault, and also includes punishment for persons in positions of trust of authority like public servants, staff of educational institutions, police, etc. Chapter 3 or Sections 13, 14, and 15 of the Act lays down stringent punishment for exposing children to, or using them to create child sexual abuse material, CSAM, also referred to as child pornography. The Chapter 4 specifically explains regarding the abetment of the offense. Here it provides for the punishments for the said abetment as well as for the attempt to commit the offense. The procedures for reporting sexual crimes against children is discussed in Chapter 5. Under Section 19 of the Act, it is mandatory to report sexual crimes against children, including when there is an apprehension that an offense under the Act has been committed, to the concerned authorities, and it is the duty of such authority to immediately investigate the matter and further provide assistance to the child. Under Section 20 it is the duty of any person to report sexual crimes against children that is in any form of recordings that is pornography. Sections 21 and 22 provide for the punishments for non-informing and false information. Chapter 6, the Procedures. Under this Act the jurists set up procedures to make the criminal justice system child-friendly and prevent re-traumatization of the child. The procedures established are as follows. Getting their statement recorded at their residence or a place of their choice, and preferably by a woman police official or an official not below the sub-inspector rank, in civilian clothes. The child cannot be detained at the police station at night, and his or her identity should be protected from the public and media unless directed otherwise by a special court. The police official should ensure that during the investigation, the child shouldn't come in contact with the accused. If the survivor is a girl, the medical examination should be done by a woman doctor, and the examination can only be done in the presence of a parent, or a person the child trusts. If neither of the two are there, then the examination should be done in the presence of a woman nominated by the head of the medical institution. Chapter 7 and 8. The Special Courts. The special courts formed under the POCSO Act are child-friendly. In the Act there are provisions to make the atmosphere in the courts child-friendly by allowing a family member, a guardian, a friend or a relative, in whom the child trusts or has confidence, to be present. Further, the court can allow frequent breaks for the child during the trial and ensure that the child does not have to face the accused during collection of evidence, as well as during cross-examination. In these courts the proceedings are usually held in camera, that is, no one except those related to the case can be present in court. As per information received from various high courts, the status of pending cases related to rape and POCSO Act, as on December 31, 2019, is 244,001. As reported by National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, NCPCR, information of 420 cases of child sexual abuse has been received by NCPCR from 1 March, 2020 till 31 August, 2020 via online portals, helplines and other media. The Indian Penal Code does not recognize that sexual assault can be committed on boys. The POCSO Act, however, recognizes that boys can be victims of sexual violence as well. In fact, the POCSO Act has now increased the scope of reporting sexual crimes against children, which helps the authorities to trace the culprits effectively.
इन बच्चों के लिए, इनके बचपन के लिए, चुप्पी तोड़ो, 1098 पे कॉल करो, बचपन बचाओ.